Hello again, my beautiful people, Jamaican youth, again in the building. And today, oh man, we gotta be talking about the 1-0 defeat that the Reggae Girlz suffered to Colombia in this World Cup. It was tough to see the Reggae Girlz go out, wake up early this morning to watch the game, and have a lot to say about it. But the Reggae Girlz are out. The dream has come to an end, and Jamaica lost by 1-0 to a Colombia team that I thought was beatable. It was a winnable game. It was a beatable team for Jamaica, but we didn't get it done this time around. And there are some things to point out in it, in this whole defeat that the Reggae Girlz suffered. Even though we're not going to be too harsh on the Reggae Girlz. I mean, they did Jamaica proud. They gave us a lot to cheer about. They didn't do any worse than any of the CONCACAF teams. As a matter of fact, Jamaica and the United States were the only two CONCACAF teams to have moved on to the round of 16. So kudos to the Reggae Girlz. We applaud them. But we're going to get to talk about what we saw in the game, how I saw the game. So before I get into it, I'm going to ask you to hit the like button, as when you hit the like button, it sends the video out to more eyes, and so that more eyes can see this video who may be interested in this content. And also, if you haven't subscribed, to hit the subscribe button, as your support helps the channel to grow, and we're really trying to grow the channel. So if you could just take a little time out to hit the like button if you haven't done so, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So Jamaica Reggae Girlz lost 1-0 to Colombia in the round of 16 game this morning, in Sydney, Australia. And the goal was scored in the second half, maybe midway through the second half of the game, of a goal, a long ball over from the left-hand side of the field to the right-hand side of the field, over the head of one of our defenders, left back in particular, and then controlled by the striker there, and she put it away, to give Colombia that 1-0 lead and pretty much take the game and get a 1-0 win, and bought themselves a ticket into the quarterfinals of the World Cup, where they'll face England. That was a game that we wanted. But I want to mention 5 things about this game. 5 observations from it. And in these 5 observations that I'm going to make, it pretty much is a summary of how I saw the game, essentially. And obviously, it's a 90-minute game. Whatever I'm going to say in this in this time period is not going to really summarize the entire game, but there are some key defining moments of the game. But the first thing I want to say is that win, lose, or draw, I'm proud of the Reggae Girlz. Them represent Jamaica really good. And like, I'm glad to say we did have a historic moment there where we get the first Jamaican team to get to the round of 16 in a World Cup competition. The first Jamaican team to get out of the group stages of a World Cup competition. Kudos to the Reggae Girlz. Kudos to Coach Lorne Donaldson and the staff that was over there in Australia working with the Reggae Girlz. You all did a good job. You all represented this nation well. And I don't care what nobody have to say. You have nothing to be ashamed of, and you have everything to be proud of how you represented this country. And you have forever changed the perception of football in Jamaica, not just women's football, but football in Jamaica. I think, your performance has definitely sparked a lot of conversation, sparked some controversy, let's call it what it is. But your participation in this World Cup, while it sparked some controversy, also sparked a lot of conversation around how we're going to administer football moving forward. We see a lot of football coming up on the horizon for you, the Reggae Girlz, and for all of the national teams, you know, and I think your performance in this World Cup has accentuated the attention that we need to pay to football in this country, and the way we treat football in this country, is the way we treat players in this country, and the expectations that we know will have of our teams and of the people who administer football in Jamaica. I think a lot of conversation has come up because of your performance. I mean, some of the conversation was going on before your performance, but you have definitely sparked and reignited important conversations surrounding football in this country. I'm not going to get into the money issue and who he said, she said. Not going to get into that, but just to say that kudos to you, Reggae Girlz, and I hope you move on from strength to strength. So that's my first point. My second point is to talk about the game. So what really happened in this game? Let's the first, you know, the truth of the matter is, let's look at the stats first. Let's look at the stats. So Colombia versus Jamaica. Shots, Colombia had 11 shots, Jamaica had 6. Colombia had 3 shots on target, Jamaica had 2, so pretty close. Possession, Colombia had 51% possession, Jamaica had 49%. Passes, Colombia made 321 passes, Jamaica 316. Passing accuracy, 63% from Colombia, 66% from Jamaica. Fouls, 6 fouls committed by Colombia, 8 fouls committed by Jamaica. Yellow cards, 1 to Colombia, 2 to Jamaica. There were no red cards in the game. 3 offsides in by Colombia, 2 offsides by Jamaica. And there were 7 corners by Colombia and 3 corners for Jamaica. So if you really look at those stats, it was a very evenly contested game with a slight edge to Colombia, an ever so slight edge. And the truth of the matter is, that's how the game ended. It was really an evenly contested game with a slight edge to Colombia, a 1-0 win. And, you know, we can huff and puff a lot, but the truth of the matter is that Colombia was the better team. Colombia was the better team on the night. They possessed the ball better. They looked more purposeful going forward. They put us on the back foot more than we put them on the back foot. Colombia put Jamaica on the back foot more than Jamaica put Colombia on the back foot. And, you know, in general, which leads me to my second point, we had nothing on offense. Khadija Bonesha never showed up this World Cup. You know what I mean? Like, I was really thinking that this was going to be the game that Bonesha was going to score a goal, because she hasn't scored any in the first round or the group stages. And it can give her a pass because, for one, first game was against France. A 0-0 draw is historic, so we'll take that. Panama game, she was out because she got the red card, so she couldn't have scored again. And then Brazil game, a 0-0 draw is also historic. So she didn't score in Brazil, didn't score against France. Understood, we can take it. But when the time comes for us to play Colombia, the big player needs to step up. And I'm not saying she didn't try hard, but we never get a goal out of her. And this is her second World Cup now without scoring a goal. So that was disappointing. We had nothing on offense. Now, to Bonesha's credit, she did make a crossover, I think early in the first half, where Jody Brown had an opportunity to head a ball to goal, and Jody Brown missed it. I don't know what she thought, you know, and Jody Brown had more than one opportunities during the game. But Jody Brown just has not played a really good tournament for me. You know, Jody Brown is the one player that you look on the field and you know the talent is there. She's a very talented player. But she just never really had a good tournament. I mean, she never really contributed much to the team. And, she almost contributed a little bit more on defense than she did on offense, even though she's an offensive player, Jody Brown. But we had nothing on offense. There was nothing from Bunny Shaw. There was nothing from Jody Brown. There was nothing from Trudy Carter and Matthews. The girl, she came on a little bit later in the game and kind of looked a little bit lively, but we had nothing. As a matter of fact, it seemed like most of our offense came from Drew Spence towards the dying portion of the game. And Drew Spence is a CDM. She's a central defensive midfielder. She's not really, on the offensive end like that. But she was my woman at the tournament for Jamaica. She played a very consistent game. A close second would be Rebecca Spencer. But Drew Spence for sure played a very consistent game, was a rock in the middle of the park for Jamaica. And she was the only one who kind of put Colombia under any threat, the Colombian goal under any threat. But we had nothing on offense. And that was one of the major weaknesses of the game this morning. It almost seemed as if we weren't going for a win. And I know people will have a difference of an opinion on that, but that's just how I saw it. We had nothing on offense. Even when we got the ball, we were going forward. We never looked like we would be able to threaten Colombia's goal. So that's my second point. My third point is pretty much what led to the goal. Deneisha Blackwood was caught napping. The goal that was scored, the goal that was crossed over from Jamaica's right-hand side, Colombia's left-hand side, over Deneisha Blackwood head, and then was controlled by the striker there. By the time Deneisha realized it, the ball was on its way in the back of the net. She couldn't, the reaction time was too slow. Maybe, I just think she was just caught napping. Maybe, I could say maybe she saw the ball late. Maybe she took her eyes off the ball. Whatever it was, she got caught napping right there. And this is not to bash Deneisha Blackwood, by the way, because she had an outstanding tournament. She was the player of the match in the France game, the first game of the tournament. So she had an outstanding tournament. But we just have to call it like we see it. She got caught napping at the back. The ball came over and it was put away. And Colombia went up 1-0. So I think that, that pretty much is an error that led to a goal, because had the awareness been on and she was able to dress off and challenge for the ball, then that goal would not have scored in the manner that it did. But it is what it is. At that level, at this level, at the World Cup level, a simple error in judgment, that's what it leads to. It leads to you, packing your things and going home. And that's just how it is. So that was my third point. My fourth point is that in general, Jamaica was just unable to maintain possession of the ball for a long period of time, right? Or for a period of time that pushed them into Colombia's half to a point where they could threaten them. Now, if you look at the stats, we saw that Jamaica had 48% possession of the ball, or 49% possession of the ball, and Colombia had 51, which is pretty much even Stevens. You know what I mean? It's almost 50-50. But if you really look at it, most of Jamaica's possession of the ball came after the goal. After Colombia scored the goal, that's where you saw a lot more possession from Jamaica. And if you really checked the stats, a different type of stats, you would see that a large portion of the possession that is granted to Jamaica is really in contest balls, meaning that Jamaica never really had the ball, or Colombia never really had the ball. They were just contesting the ball, So the inability for Jamaica to keep possession of the ball in an effective way, because there were times you saw them keep possession of the ball, in their half. So if you notice, that back four was able to knock the ball around a little bit. And Colombia was kind of doing a mid-press with Jamaica, not pressing them too deep in their half, even though they still didn't give them much time on the ball. But, you know, our possession of the ball after we get out of the back portion of our, you know, half was lacking. You know, we weren't able to control the ball very well. Trudy Carter looked a little bit out of sorts too. You know, I thought that Trudy Carter would have been a good contributor because she's a really skillful player, but Trudy Carter, she's not fit. She's not able to keep pace with the rest of the players, and you can see that she's really out of a club. The fact that she's out of a club really shows, because while the skill set is there, she's just not able to keep pace with the rest of the players. Whether on Jamaica's team or on Colombia's team, she's out of fitness. She's not as much sharp as she should be. But, you know, she was the player that got the assist against Panama when we got that 1-0 win. So it was a smart decision to play Trudy Carter in this game, but she never really offered much in this game. And I think a big part of the reason why she wasn't able to offer more was because she's not much sharp. But our inability to maintain, possession of the ball in areas that threatens Colombia is a part of the reason why we didn't do as well in this game. And then my final point is that we just looked like there was a lack of a winning strategy today. You know, and this is not to say we didn't play well. The girls looked good, the team looked good, but there seemed to have been a lack of ideas as to how to win this game. How are we going to beat Colombia? Because remember, this game is not a game that you're playing for 1 point. So I get it. If we were playing for 1 point, I would have understand. I would have understand why they played the way they play. But this never really looked like they were going to win the game. You know what I mean? So I had a little bit of a problem with that. Like, there was no plan as to how to win the game. Maybe there could have been some reworking of how to use Bonishaw to bring her back deeper so that she can get more touches off the ball and bring it forward. Maybe even switching around Jody Brown and making her play forward and bringing back Bonishaw, because Bonishaw just wasn't getting enough touches on the ball, and as soon as she touched the ball, you know, she was surrounded. You know, and don't get me wrong, I mean, obviously, you know, Bonishaw is the best striker, so the idea has to be to give her the best, to put her up there. She's the best goal scorer we have. But in the what you would call, you know, when we have a situation where she's not getting as much service, you can switch, you know, switch around the players. Kind of like how, if you look at the Reggae Boys, sometimes the Coach Halgrimson, he had Damari Gray on the left and Leon Bailey on the right. Sometimes he switched them and put Leon Bailey on the left and Damari Gray on the right, just to see if that strategy would work a little bit better. I would have liked to have seen that with the Reggae Girlz, switching a Jody Brown with Khadija Shaw, so that, you know, Khadija Shaw has more body than Jody Brown, so she could, if she could get the ball up there to Jody Brown with her pace, she probably could cause some problems. But, you know, this is all hindsight. You know, when you're in the game, it's a totally different thing. But just it didn't seem like we had so much of a winning strategy, or if we did, it wasn't clear. It kind of seemed as if we were doing, we were going for a 0-0 draw. So, but those are my thoughts on it. Again, I think Drew Spence had a great game. I think she's the woman of the tournament. She took some shots towards goal at the end, towards the end, to put Colombia under a little bit of a, you know, scare. Jody Brown got some opportunities, I think, at least to hit the ball in the back of the net, and it didn't happen. So, you know, I'm not saying this because I'm frustrated at the girl. I'm just doing my analysis of the game in terms of what led to us not winning this game. And I think those are some of the reasons why we didn't win. Just nothing on offense. Deneisha Blackwood got caught napping on that goal, which I'm not putting all of the blame on her. It was a team effort, but still, that happened. Lack of a winning strategy or a clear winning strategy, and then really just us being unable to maintain possession in areas of the field that threatened Colombia. I think that kind of led to the us losing the game. But congratulations to Colombia. You know, the better team won on the night. But, you know, congratulations to the Reggae Girlz as well. I mean, you created history. As I said at the beginning of this video, you did yourselves and you did Jamaica proud, regardless of what is said, regardless of what is said after the fact, after this World Cup is done. You did this nation proud. We are proud of you. I am proud of you. And I just hope that, other little girls and other players are inspired by what you have done and achieved. And, we will see a better, bigger, stronger Jamaica team moving forward. We still have the opportunity to qualify for the Olympics, which is a big tournament as well, just like, probably second only to the World Cup. So hopefully we can keep this momentum, keep this fire, fix some of the things that we need fixing. We need to fix our offensive end. Fix some of the things that we need to fix before this Olympic playoff comes around. And if we can beat Canada, we're in the Olympic Games representing CONCACAF as one of two nations. And that's a major tournament as well. So, yeah. So I hope that can happen. All right, I'm going to leave it here, everyone. It's been a great tournament. This probably will be my last World Cup video because the Reggae Girlz are out. So, on your way out, please smash the like button. And if you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button. And until next time, take care of yourself. I'm out.